like I said, today's going to be a little bit tough. Chapter 9 is very algebra intensive. And if you're weak in algebra, this will be a good refining process. There's lots and lots of algebra in this chapter. It's a very good preparation for Pre-Calculus 11 if you do go that route, because that course is very, very algebraic intensive. So if you can survive this chapter and do decent WLAL, then that hopefully gives you some indication of the intensity of what the next grade is going to be like.
Do you think that we're capable of it?
Yes, I do. So if you find yourself struggling today, if you're not understanding some of the things that I'm saying, please make a point of stopping me and asking. I want to make sure that you know what's going on. Okay? The whole idea behind Chapter 9 is doing on paper, with the equations and the algebra, doing on paper what you did in Chapter 8. Right? Chapter 8, you had a system, you had some lines described by some equations, and those equations crossed each other, and you used a calculator to find that intersection point. That was in a very, simplified version. That was Chapter 8, basically. Right? Chapter 9 is the exact same thing, just solved algebraically. Okay? So just keep that in mind. You're doing the same thing that you did in Chapter 8. You're just using algebra now rather than just your calculator. It is useful to check with your calculator. After you get the solution algebraically, check with your calculator and make sure it's right. But primarily the methods for which we'll solve systems is going to be algebraic. Okay? So there's two methods that you study in Chapter 9. There are more, but the two that you learn in grade 10, the first one is called substitution. That's going to be the focus of today. And the other one is elimination. Okay? Substitution and elimination. Two words that you will become very familiar with, hopefully by the end of next week. Okay? Substitution and elimination. Today, we're going to learn substitution. So I want you to think about that word substitution. Okay? Apply it in the context that you already know it in. What is a substitution? What does it mean?
When you take something and put something else for it.
Okay, you take something out and you put something else in for it. Okay? A replacement. That's a very good definition. You just played hockey. You have subs, or substitutes, or substitution in hockey. What happens when you sub somebody in hockey?
They go off and someone else comes on.
Yeah, right? If Darren subbed for Jasmine, right? Jasmine would come off. Darren would go on and play the position that Jasmine was playing. Okay? So it's a replacement of one thing for another. Okay? That's very important to remember, because that's the foundational principle behind the technique that you're going to be learning today. Okay? Substitution. Okay? So just a brief definition here. You replace one thing with another, or whatever definition you find more useful right in that blank there. Okay? You replace something with another thing. It becomes that thing.